Today on Collector's Showcase, we take a look at the Mad Titan. Let's do this Infinity style. Hey guys, welcome to Collector's Showcase, a new show on my channel where we take a look at a certain character and all the figures I have within my collection of that character. It's a way for me to show off my fandom, my geekiness about a certain character, but also show off my collection at the same time. This week we've chosen to go with the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. Thanos being really popular right now because of the movies, but also because he's probably one of my favourite villains within the Marvel Universe. And no, that's not just because of the movie version. I'm going to go back to tell you about when I first got into Thanos and where I first met Thanos in the comics world. So, the story goes as I remember it, sometime around 1997, my dad threw this comic book at me across the table and said, "Read that, son." The Infinity Gauntlet. It was number 6 in the collection, but little did I know at that point that this was number 6. As a young kid, this was my first introduction to Marvel Comics. It was this fateful comic, Infinity Gauntlet 1991 number 6, that would be the first ever comic I would ever read. Obviously, long after its publication date, this was 1997 we're talking about, and once I read it, I knew I needed to go to the comic book store and get the rest of the run. So it seems awfully fitting that we do Thanos as the first of my action figure collection line, especially in this series of videos where Thanos was my introduction to comics. And if we're talking comic book figures, there is no eviler, badder villain in my opinion than Thanos, fighting for all the right reasons but doing it in all the wrong ways. A misunderstood villain, a misunderstood hero? There's plenty of comic books to be reading of Thanos. My personal favourite will always be that Infinity Gauntlet series that was published back in 1991. Penciler was Ron Lim. Cover artist was also Ron Lim. And the work was just beautiful. And to see that awesome cover where Nebula's got him round the throat and stuff, it was just one of them things. Was like, oh my god, this guy is awesome. And reading this comic book gave me an introduction to Thanos. So, a little bit more about the character. He first appeared in Invincible Iron Man number 55 and was created by Jim Starlin all the way back in February of 1973. His place of origin is Titan, and he's affiliated with the Black Order and the Infinity Watch, and his notable alias is the Mad Titan. So, wishing to impress Mistress Death, Thanos gathers an army of villainous aliens and begins a nuclear bombardment of Titan that kills millions. So Thanos has gone across the galaxy throughout the comic book world collecting the Infinity Stones. Thanos has proven himself capable, briefly holding a battle against Odin and even blasting Galactus off his feet. It's that in my books makes him one of the most poignant villains in the Marvel franchise. So you guys have come to see me collect quite a lot of things on this channel, from Infinity Gauntlets to action figures to pop vinyls to t-shirts to comics. You guys know that I love me some Thanos, and I definitely love me some Marvel. So without further ado, let's get a look at the figures in my collection and show you what Thanos figures I personally think are the best. So here is my Infinity War setup for you right now. This is what we'll be looking at today. As you can see, we've got multiple different versions of the Thanos action figure, including the small Infinity Gauntlet, the Thanos Quest comic book trade paperback, and also I've got Infinity War there paused in the background for effects. But if we just come over here and take a look at the figures first of all, we're going to look at this one. This is the Diamond Select Thanos featuring Mistress Death, based on the original comic book. Mistress Death was the lady who was trying to impress and sent him on the quest to get the Infinity Gauntlet and to get the stones to be the most powerful person in the galaxy. Then we have the Marvel Legends Walmart exclusive Thanos. Now this Thanos was basically a re-release of the old Bath figure, and it kind of had a little bit of a repaint, a few different touches made to it, but it's predominantly the same figure. This was re-released as a lot of collectors didn't have it in their collection, and the Bath pieces were getting rather pricey. So it was nice that they did re-release this one. I do like it because of the shiny sort of armour to it. Moving on up here, now this is the Disney Store exclusive Mad Titan, based on the modern day version of Thanos. A lot of people think this is a cinematic, the Marvel Cinematic Universe version, which it isn't. It's actually based on the modern day comic books Infinity, as far as I can tell. I actually made the same mistake in my videos by saying I think it's MCU, but it really isn't. Although I do think this actually scales well with the 6-inch Marvel Legends figures, because Titans are meant to be a lot bigger, and he's meant to appear a lot more imposing, so the big 7-inch figure does feel a little bit more threatening towards our Marvel Legends Cinematic Universe characters. Then we have this little guy. Now, this is one of the Marvel Infinity figures. I think the line was called Infinity back then, but they then readopted the Marvel Legends line. This one's actually been customed, though, as this hand isn't meant to come with this figure. I don't actually know where that gauntlet hand come from, but this figure was the one that came in the 2-pack with the comic book, but it didn't come with this gloved hand. It only came with the 2 golden fists, as far as I can see. So somebody has actually customed and put this on him, which makes him look all the more awesome, in my opinion, and does seem to have that same feel as the sort of modern version of behind him. That's why I've kind of stood them two together. Then we have the basic Thanos, which is by Hasbro. I haven't actually reviewed this on the channel yet, guys, but this is from the Guardians of the Galaxy TV series from Disney XD. This version of Thanos is a little bit different. It is based on his cartoon counterpart that was also used in the Avengers TV series. He doesn't have an Infinity Gauntlet, though, which is kind of upsetting. I really wish he had the Infinity Gauntlet. And he's not that tall, actually. I wish he was taller, because he's actually the same height as Star-Lord and Drax the Destroyer, which is a little bit irritating. I wish he was taller. But the figure was one of the Chase variant figures that was available in that line, along with Nebula and Yondu. I reviewed the original Guardians figures, but I never got around to reviewing Thanos or Yondu or Nebula. If you'd still like a full proper review of the figure, please do let me know. Even the Disney Store got in on the action when Thanos was at his peak of popularity by including the Thanos Infinity figure from the Toy Box range. These are based on the original Disney Infinity figures, so it's a bit upsetting to know that we could have had a Thanos in that Infinity game. Clearly they had it in the works, as a lot of the artwork and a lot of these figures are based on the original designs of Infinity. I love this one as well. It's one of the few figures that actually comes with the helmet as well. This helmet seems to be based more on the modern version of Thanos' helmet, similar to the cinematic movie. A little bit similar to this one, but with the flaps at the side seem to stick out a little bit more. This figure was, in my opinion, disappointing, because there was such a build-up for this. Everyone wanted him so badly. And then when he arrived, it just felt such a letdown that gauntlet was hollow. Why, Disney Store, why? Let's hope we get a better one in times to come. But for now, he'll have to do in that series. Then, guys, we have the re-released version of the Thanos Bath that was from the MCU Marvel Legends line. This came with the 3-pack that also included Doctor Strange and also Iron Man. I got this version as I never collected the Bath pieces, and I wish I did now, because you can get the closed Infinity Gauntlet for him, but this version is cool nonetheless. It does come with multiple heads. I've currently got this version of the head on right now, just as a bit more of a static pose for him, but he does come with a more snarling, angry-looking face. The Infinity Gauntlet as well on this one, I really like it, because it's nice and chromed, and it just looks weathered, and it looks good. It looks like he's been trailing the galaxy with it, trying to capture all the stones. Yeah, great figure though. Really like it. Possibly one of my favourites out of all of these. But we'll decide favourites in just a few moments. And then, of course, we've got the Titan Hero figures. Titan for a Titan. This was a part of the Power FX line, where you can basically attach a little device to his back and he speaks. We never did get around to getting one of those little fancy packs to make him speak, but we got him for display purposes anyway, more than anything. We can do our own Thanos sound effects and voices if we really wanted. You know, such lines like, I hope they remember you. This figure was okay. Wish it was more detailed, but at the time it came out, it was one of the only Thanos figures available. So, guys, we have 9 figures here to go through. I'm going to do it in reverse order, as least favourite to most favourite. So then you guys get my number 1 pick and my favourite Thanos from my collection. So, starting at number 9, we have the big Titan Thanos here. just because lack of articulation. It's a 5 POA figure, and he's 12 inches, and there's not a lot you can do with him other than display him. So he is probably my least favourite of the ones that I own. Next least favourite is probably going to be the animated version of Thanos. He's coming in at number 8. Number 7 is going to have to be the Disney Infinity version, the toy box version. It was such a letdown when it came out for me. As much as it was a cool figure, that glove really just ruined it for me. It ruined it too much. Number 7... probably going to have to be the little guy. The little guy at number 7, just because he is, compared to the other 3-inch figures in the line, he is still a little bit short. I would have liked him to be a little bit taller against some of the other figures. Ooh, who next? Next in the line is probably going to be this guy. Whilst he is cool, the shiny armour, it's okay. It's just not my favourite. It's a bit too metallic for me. Then we'll probably go with this guy next. I love the size of him. He's a big giant of a figure. It's just a bit of a shame that it's just an older figure at this point, and that jawline, I wish he came with a different head, because that jaw makes him look like Ron Perlman. That's no disrespect to Ron Perlman. I think he's a great actor. But next, it's coming down to the Disney Store Marvel Select and the MCU Marvel Legends Thanos. I think you guys know where I'm going to go next. Marvel Legends Thanos is okay, he's great, he's perfect, he's an awesome representation of the MCU version, and I really do think they hit it on the nose with this figure. But my number one choice is going to the Disney Store version. I just love the way this looks. It stayed on my shelf for so long, and you know what? He's still up there now. He sits up there with Kingpin as being one of my number one choices of action figure for Thanos. But guys, like I said, that's just one guy's opinion, and that's all it is. It's an opinion. So what, in your opinion, guys, which is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. And what is your favourite Thanos memory? Do you have a Thanos memory? Something like that you first collected, or anything that you've picked up and that you cherish for this character? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you enjoyed this action figure showcase, please let me know. The collector's showcase won't be a weekly show or anything like that, because a lot of work does go into making these. But I will love to make another one for you, and I'm thinking about making the next one based on Groot and Rocket Raccoon. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and let me know in the comments if you would like to see a Rocket Raccoon and Groot collector's showcase. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm your host Super Sorrel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you. So as they would say on Titan, I bid thee farewell, Titan. Be strong.